Friends, welcome once again to this new episode of the Indian Military Anecdotes. Today, we are very lucky. We have with us Colonel Vijay Sehgal, a veteran gunner officer. He commanded medium regiment in the highest battlefield of the world, which is the Siachen Glacier. And there was a time when something went terribly wrong. There was a catastrophe, and Vijay jumped in to rescue the people trapped there. So let's hear from him what happened. So, Vijay, please go ahead.
Before this, Anil, I would like to take you back to 1994 because that link is important.
Mm-hmm.
I was posted in a Bofors regiment as part of the Artillery Brigade, and we had moved for field firing, one battery from each regiment.
I see.
And my commander had tasked me because I was an instructor in gunnery. You coordinate and conduct this entire firing.
I see.
So after firing was conducted, we had fired cargo ammunition, which is a special ammunition for the Bofors.
Ha
As a safety measure, I was tasked with the BM and another officer from my unit. BM was another postmate of ours.
Mm-hmm.
We went to check the range, and I unfortunately got hit by one of those bomblets from the cargo.
Oh, I see.
And I was bleeding like mad. I was bleeding like a hose pipe. I nearly lost my life. We were all 25-30 kilometers inside the deserts.
I see.
And extricating myself from that is a story by itself, which we will be covering in another episode with you.
Yeah.
And I was spared my life. Now, at that point of time, like any human being, we all look very tough, but we all are scared inside. Nobody wants to lose a life.
True.
And my daughter was newly born, just not even 4 or 5 months old.
Mm.
And I was in a deep shock myself. But I was also amazed that I survived.
Yeah, absolutely. Miraculous.
And I could not get the larger picture of life, why my life has been spared. Am I plain lucky? But many years later, the events folded in a manner which gave me a positive confirmation that God always does something for you with a purpose. It is only that we cannot see in the future.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Now we will migrate to the second part of the story.
Right.
I was lucky to command a medium regiment, not in my panel. I took over command in Siachen Glacier. I was at the base camp. I was commanding a medium regiment, 130mm guns, which was providing fire support to the entire glacier, and all the OP officers of the entire glacier were being pumped in through me.
I see.
And I was writing an exercise for the corps commander, and I used to move very frequently between Siachen and Leh, a total distance of 200 kilometers. Siachen to Khardungla, that is the highest pass, 18,500 feet, 100 kilometers, another 100 kilometers from Khardungla to Leh. This was a very regular feature, up and down. I forgot to tell you, my splinters I got in my body.
Oh, I see.
It was Sunday, and Air Force helicopters saved me that day.
I see.
I personally had to ask for these helicopters.
Oh.
Later on, I had called one of my battery commanders at the top because he had to sign one document regarding his report.
Right.
And he went away that side, and I started coming down in my jeep with my driver. We had just crossed Khardungla, gone about 500 to 900 meters down the road, and I saw a young boy. He may not be more than 8 to 10 years old, standing at the edge of the road and stopping my vehicle.
I see.
I stopped because we generally used to interact with all these people.
Correct.
But the amazing fact is there is no village around that part.
I see.
So how come that boy was standing? It is only which came to my mind much later.
Right.
I stopped the vehicle and he was pointing down into the valley.
I see.
I and my driver looked down, and there I saw something like a matchbox. It was a vehicle. It was a bus.
Oh my God.
Lying in the valley.
Oh,
some 700 to 800 feet down below.
God.
And for a second I was zapped. I said, oh God, what has happened to them? And they must have just gone in a few minutes before me. That's it.
Okay. So you were.
And I could see people scattered. I could see luggage scattered, smashed like a matchbox. And the only thing which came into my mind is, Lord Almighty, help me pick them up. And I started the rescue with only me and my driver.
Correct.
And the first vehicle I saw was a tourist vehicle, an Austrian couple. I was in uniform. I stopped them. I said, sir, I need help. There is an accident. I would need your vehicle. The point was, picking up those people, bringing them to the top, putting them in vehicle, whatever is available. And you know the traffic is not very heavy there.
Yeah.
But Lord wants to save you, everything will fall into place. And this is exactly what happened.
Right.
I was just thinking and wondering, how do I pick these people? How do I pick? Because oxygen as it is 50%. Lack
Yeah,
of clean
correct.
air.
In that area, yes.
I saw a bus carrying ITB people, full of ITB people returning from leave or some place. No, not leave. They were going from one place to another.
Yeah.
I stood in the middle of the road. I said, get down. So they were arguing with me initially. नहीं हम late हो जाएंगे, ये हो जाएंगे. I said, लोग मर रहे हैं, मर भी गए होंगे. I said, we have to pick them up. This is my name. You can report my name, but I will not let you go from. I parked my jeep in front of that bus. So reluctantly they did get down. Then somebody else came, and then we started moving down, forming a human chain.
I see.
Because picking up people and bringing up something
Yeah,
like a
not
loaded
easy.
weight
And we are
was next
seeing
to impossible.
some
Because
600, 700 meters down.
and the cliff is also not very even.
Yeah.
You will not get a grip. And this is how we started the rescue. We were using blankets, we were using rain capes, whatever was available with them. And we started picking up people. This whole procedure started. And the traffic was stopped. A lot of tourists stopped. And I was going up and down and I was getting breathless also. One civilian tourist, a Bengali, he told me, he says, Colonel Saab, I have a small piece of advice for you. So I looked at him. I said, what will this man teach me here now? He says, you are doing a wonderful job. But when you go down, chaos starts because nobody knows what to do with these people here.
Oh.
So he says, sir, you don't go down. You organize this. Let them bring the people up, casualties up, and you organize their evacuation.
Evacuation from here, right.
So the first vehicle which I had stopped of that Austrian couple, 2-3 people went in that.
I see.
And like I told you, when God wants to save you, things do fall in place. There were a lot of tipper vehicles which were coming from Siachen base camp.
Which vehicles? Which
tipper.
Tipper.
Yeah. Yeah. They get those, they were carrying those, empty barrels. Tarmac. So I stopped them. And one by one, I put 2 to 3 people, and I said, go.
Right.
The whole traffic had stopped from up and down. And halfway through or somewhere, no, more than that, a lot of people all joined me, some more Faujis joined me, and then we started a very uniform, evacuation.
Yeah.
And we had absolutely no idea how badly injured was that he or she. Absolutely no idea. And I must commend those people because in all that pain, I found none of them crying.
Oh, very, very surprising.
Very surprising. So the first lot I picked up, there was a girl, there was a young boy, and surprisingly, the mother and father were not hurt. 17 had died on the spot. These are the people who were sitting on the roof. So they went into the rocks.
How many passengers? How many
94.
passengers did the bus carried?
94. I learnt in the evening.
Oh,
minibus, not bus, minibus.
Minibus. But
yes, sir.
What happens there in those villages, remote areas?
17 on the roof, they died immediately. 77 alive, badly hurt. And I put these first 4 patients, what I brought, and I sent them beyond Khardungla top because there was an MI room there. Inko first aid mil jayegi. And believe me, Anil, I clean forgot about those 4 people. Now I started the evacuation. The helicopters came from the Indian Army. Because some patients had to go to the military hospital also.
Correct.
And when I went there, there was no place, there was nobody to marshal the aircraft, how to land. Uneven terrain. So I stood and I marshaled the aircraft. So the first helicopter touched down side of the hill. And suddenly he realized that the skids were not even. It was tilting.
Right.
So it was almost ditching to one side. So he pulled the stick and flew right over my head.
Oh, oh my God.
Then took a detour and then came back again.
Very
I was right on his path. Quick thinking by the pilot. I do not know who's that pilot because I never interacted with them. There was no way I could talk to them. Anyway, he landed. The doors had been removed. And the nursing assistant had been told that ये 2-3 patient हैं, इनको पकड़ के बैठना, तू भी लटक के बैठना.
Oh.
Belt का तो सवाल ही नहीं उठता. कोई सीट ही नहीं.
Oh my God, that's the way the daredevil army guys operate.
So the helicopter lifted off. Then the second helicopter came. He lifted off, and that landed straight away in the hospital. And there was this surgeon, very good surgeon. KJ Singh, I have shared his letter with you, where he has written, "It's not easy to forget people who have saved so many lives."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he operated on those people.
I see.
And I had got very tired. I picked up all the luggage. I brought all the belongings, and I was covered with blood. I was covered with vomit,
Mm.
and I was tired. The whole afternoon went in very, very tired. It was
So
exhausting.
what time did this incident start?
12:45 it started, and
Carried on
5:30
till late in the evening.
Yeah, there was a chairman of the Ladakh Hill Council. I've shared that letter also with you.
Yes, yes, yes.
He was dressed in a Buddhist robe. I had no idea who is he. So he called me, and I was getting tired and a little annoyed also. So I told him, Anaka, sir, I don't have any time. So then somebody came and told me that he's a very big shot here, and he just wants to inquire what has happened, because after all, these are his population only here.
Yeah, correct.
So and then I walked up to him. I said, I'm sorry, sir. He says, no, I understand. Then I explained to him. He was very happy. And next day, Anil, he took me to the civil hospital and showed me all those people who had been operated. And he's talking to them in their language. This is the man who saved you. I didn't save them. I just brought them up.
Yeah.
Their life was already saved by Lord Almighty. So I was happy that 77 people survived and 17 were already dead beyond my approach.
God got you there at that time.
Yes, because he had saved my life in 1994. And then suddenly I remembered, it hit me like a jolt. I said, where are those 4 people whom I had sent to bloody Khardungla and beyond? मतलब पूरा रेस्क्यू हो गया, सबको टिपर ट्रक्स में भेज दिया, किसी को हेलीकॉप्टर से भेज दिया, और वो 4 they were the forgotten army.
अच्छा.
I went numb. I said, may God, I saved them the first. I only hope they have survived.
Where are they?
Where are they? So then I rang up, from the TCP, and luckily, Anil, they were all alive. फिर मैंने उनको जीप में डलवाया अपनी फौज की. मैंने कहा यार इनको हॉस्पिटल ले जाओ before they conk, because whole life I will curse myself. What a foolish thing I made.
Correct.
I mean, I did not make any intentional mistake, but it is a lapse on my part. I just
it could have been.
Yeah. But the mere fact is that their lives were already saved. They had to live.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the whole show, much later, it dawned on me. I said, now I realize why God wanted me to live. Yeah. I had to almost die because of something I must have done in my past. I'm a firm believer of principle of coincidence. But the mere fact that he let me live.
Absolutely.
So many years later.
That is how this story happened, and that's how Vijay Sehgal rescued so many people. So that was a great story, Vijay. Thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing many more stories of Siachen from you.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much. And all the very best, Vijay. Thank you.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.